Assembly Hall in Champaign-Urbana, and we're live with the Final Four. 4 teams go for the crown as we present the 1989 Boys Class AA State Basketball Championships. Hello again, everybody. I'm Frank Bissoni, and welcome to the semifinals. Today we have 4 traditional powers from all parts of the state, and they have a combined record of 115 wins and only 9 losses. It's size and shooting and speed as March Madness continues with these matchups. First, Chicago King, with 30 wins in a row, challenges 2-time defending state champion East St. Louis Lincoln. And then, undefeated Peoria Central takes aim at the Rocks of Rock Island. Now to set the stage, here are my colleagues Jim Albrecht and Coach Mel Rustio.
Thank you, Frank. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your basketball wake-up call in the form of Chicago King and East St. Louis Lincoln. Lincoln, of course, has won 2 state championships back-to-back. Before that, it was Chicago King. Mel Rustio, a lot of folks think, well, you're looking at the championship game. That's neither here nor there, but it's going to be a dandy.
Well, that's the talk around the Assembly Hall, I believe, you know, that these 2 teams have got that great state tournament experience, former state champions. Lincoln's going for their 3rd unprecedented title. And, of course, King, a great ball club. Very well could be the championship game, but nonetheless, you got to reckon with 2 teams in that bottom bracket, and one of them's undefeated and rated #1 in the state, and they're #1 until somebody dethrones them.
What Tiger coach Benny Lewis has to concern himself with is how do you get inside against the Chicago King defense? It wasn't done yesterday by Thornridge. Every time somebody busted by someone, there was help back there in the form of Salvia or whoever to bat the ball away. So can you score inside on King?
Well, I think you know, you can. You have to take the ball inside. Of course, they were without their big kid most of the day. Willis, he was in some foul trouble, and he's got to stay in this ball game this afternoon if East St. Louis Lincoln is going to deal and handle King out there. So Willis has to stay in the ball game, and Conzo Martin certainly has to figure in this ball game. But gee, Conzo Martin figured in it yesterday. He made the great play at the end of the game that brought Lincoln to this point in time.
Foul trouble really havoc the East St. Louis Lincoln club yesterday. If, in fact, King should get one of their players in foul trouble, that would definitely be to the Tigers' advantage.
Well, no, there's no question. You know, fouls enter into the picture in any championship situation. Let's hope that both ball clubs play somewhat free of the foul situation, and that the game's decided on the talents of these young people out on the floor.
Well, it's time to wake up. Time for the semifinals. Chicago King, East St. Louis Lincoln. It's going to be a dandy. Let's pause for these messages.
If you're a tough truck customer, see your Mid-Illinois GMC truck dealer now. The full-size Sierra. With its powerful V8, optional 4-wheel drive, and combination of technology and comfort, it's a truck that's ready to work, ready to play. And now combine free automatic transmission and option value package savings and save up to $1,695 on a full-size Sierra. See your Mid-Illinois GMC truck dealer in Bloomington, Canton, El Paso, Morton, Peoria, Pontiac, and Winona. Tough trucks for tough truck customers.
Hardee's Garden Fresh Salads. We call them that because our lettuce comes from fresh lettuce, our cabbage from fresh cabbage, and our carrots from, wouldn't you know it, fresh carrots. Unlike some other places where everything comes fresh off a truck. Hardee's Garden, Chicken Fiesta, and Chef Salads, proving once again that at Hardee's, we're out to win you over.
This is Landon Cox, the successful head coach at Chicago King. And, Coach, yesterday your defense came to the front and played superbly well. What is your defensive scheme?
Well, we like to play a little zone and a little man-to-man, and we mix it up a little bit.
Will you talk for a moment about the athletic ability, not right now of your team, but about the team you're playing, East St. Louis Lincoln?
Well, I thought before the tournament that East St. Louis had the most athletes of any team down here except maybe us.
Does that make you play any differently, change your plans at all?
Well, you've got to play better because athletes go beyond what they can usually do, you know, and they're usually in the best of condition. You know, they can go longer and they can go harder.
Speaking of athletes, I'd like to have you give our viewers a little capsule of some of your players. I'll say the name, you give the capsule. First, Jamie Brandon.
He's the #1 player in the nation. You know, I've seen him do so many things until I can't describe all of them.
Ahmad Sharif.
He's the most underrated player in the Chicago area. He's the best kept secret in our area.
And finally, Johnny Selvey.
Oh, that's Big Daddy Kane. He can do it all.
Congratulations on getting here. An impressive show yesterday, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Landon Cox of Chicago King. Stepping in with me now, the defending two-time state champions coach, Benny Lewis of East St. Louis Lincoln. And you can't start this conversation without the end of yesterday's game. Talk about what happened at the end when Sharif Ford hit it at the buzzer.
Well, Martin got the steal, and he saw Ford breaking for the basket, and he gave him a pass, and he got it, and he was stumbling, and then he got the, okay, I guess here it is. He makes the steal, and he see Ford out there by himself, and he makes the pass to him. Ford gets the ball and looked like he's stumbling. He just throws it up there and went in, and, you know, a big victory for us.
Have you had any kind of finishes like that throughout this season?
No, we haven't. We've had some close ones, but nothing like that before. Matter of fact, we haven't had one like that, and you know, since I've been coaching.
You had to give the East Aurora a lot of credit. They put a lot of pressure on teams full court. You were able to handle it. How do you think your team reacted yesterday?
Well, I think the pressure was great. They really, you know, pressed us better than I thought they could. I thought we could handle the pressure. We thought we had prepared for it and everything, but 25 turnovers, I guess we didn't prepare that well.
Finally, how do you stop Chicago King?
Well, we're going to try and slow Jamie Brandon down as much as we can and try to keep him off the boards. I know that's going to be a tough job because they're so big inside, but if we, you know, play as well as we can play and run the fast break and play a pretty good defense, we should do okay.
It should be fun. Congratulations, Benny.
Okay, thank you very much.
Benny Lewis of East St. Louis Lincoln. Now let's go back to Jim Albright.
Thank you, Frank. In just a couple of seconds, we will be going through the introductions of East St. Louis Lincoln and Chicago King. King comes in at 30-1, as you see. The East St. Louis Lincoln Tigers at 27-4. Will the champion be dethroned, and will a new one come back? We were about to see right now. Let's go to our public address announcer, Steve Adams, for the lineup. Steve?
Ladies and gentlemen, before the lineups, after the presentation of the colors, we ask you to stand and join soloist Bill Olson of the University of Illinois and sing our national anthem as it is played this morning by the pep band from Barrington High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last flame, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
As the color guard marches off, Chicago King is set to go. They lost their first game of the season. That was without Jamie Brandon. That was to Westchester St. Joe's. They haven't lost since. East St. Louis Lincoln has lost to Chicago Marshall, Belleville, Althoff, Chicago Simeon, and Louisville Ballard. There you see the team comparisons with King. As far as the attempts are concerned, Lincoln putting up more shots, Coach, field goal wise. King about 60%. That's hard to deal with. Attempts, free throws, and rebounds you see there on your screen. Now let's go back to Steve Adams, our public address announcer. Steve?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the coaches and players for this first semifinal game featuring the Tigers of East St. Louis Lincoln and the Jaguars of Chicago King. First, let's meet the Lincoln High School Tigers entering this game with a record of 27-4. Here is the head coach in his 17th season, Benny Lewis. Assistant coaches Jethro Brown and Leland Seabury Jr. And now the players. Number 12, a 5'7" junior, Stanford Riley. Number 13, a 5'10" senior, Marco Harris. Number 20, a 6'1" senior, Terry Little. Number 25, a 5'11" senior, Jason Rogers. Number 42, a 6'4" senior, Sharif Ford. Number 43, a 6'2" senior, Henry Edwards. And number 44, a 6'3" junior, Rudy Hurt. And now here is the starting lineup. At one forward, a 6'3" senior, 21, Vincent Jackson. At the other forward, a 6'6" junior, 22, Conzo Martin. At center, a 6'8" junior, number 52, Ronald Willis. At one guard, a 6'3" junior, 23, Chris McKinney. And at the other guard, a 5'10" senior, number 11, Rico Sylvester. Those are the Tigers of East St. Louis Lincoln. And now let's meet the Jaguars of King High School of Chicago, entering this game with a record of 30-1. Introducing the head coach in his 8th season, Landon Cox. Assistant coaches Benny Parrott and Elmer McCaskey. And now the players. Number 10, a 5'10" junior, Fred Schofield. Number 12, a 5'10" senior, Vernon Bird. Number 14, a 6' senior, Sean O'Quinn. Number 15, a 6' senior, Jerome Bell. Number 21, a 6'6" senior, Toussaint Stevens. Number 24, a 6'6" junior, Anton Little. And number 32, a 6'8" junior, Tommy Cunningham. And now the starters. First at one forward, a 6'4" junior, 23, Jamie Brandon. At the other forward is 6'6.5" junior, number 20, Johnny Selvey. At center, a 6'10" junior, 31, Damian Porter. At guard, 6'2" and a senior, 25, Victor Snipes. And at guard, a 6'3" junior, number 13, Ahmad Sharif. The Jaguars of King High School of Chicago. And now the officials, Willie Jackson of North Chicago and Jim Lapatina of Addison.
One spot in the 1989 championship game is about to be decided. We'll be back after this from one of your network sponsors, John Deere.
The John Deere promise. Buy this new 1989 walk-behind, test drive it for a full month. If you don't agree it's the best mower you ever used, you can bring it back for a full refund?
The new 1989 John Deere walk-behind. We've either got the best walk-behind mower ever made, or we've got a big problem.
But there's nothing to do. Sure there is. You can do the town, or do your hair, do the dishes, do your fair share. But whatever you do, don't do drugs. You can do your own thing. Or do what Diddy. You could do your homework. Or do the laundry. But whatever you do, don't do drugs. You can do the impossible. Do a crossword puzzle. You could do your nails. Or do the hustle. Let's do lunch. Let's do it all. But whatever you do, don't do drugs or alcohol.
There's always something better to do than drugs or alcohol. A message from Money Center 24.
In the last 7 seconds of yesterday's quarterfinal game, it looked like East St. Louis Lincoln might not be here, but this did it. Sharif Ford at the buzzer, 1 tick before it turned to zeros. East St. Louis Lincoln went crazy, as did Benny Lewis, who is usually a reserved man. He got as excited as I've ever seen him.
Well, you would, Jim, in that situation. And should East St. Louis Lincoln go on to capture their 3rd consecutive Class AA crown, they may very well look back at that play as getting in there.
Chicago King controls the tip. For King, it is Snipes, Sharif, Porter, Brandon, and Selvey. It is Sylvester, McKinney, Willis, Martin, and Jackson for East St. Louis Lincoln. That's Snipes with a basketball trying to go to Selvey, but Vincent Jackson says not this time.
East St. Louis set up in their 2-3 zone, as is Chicago King.
Martin, yeah. There's your wake-up call right away.
Well, and as we said before, the more times Martin has the ball in his hands, the more effective East St. Louis Lincoln is.
Yesterday, he only shot 11 times, Coach, and still came away with 21 points, and now the turnover. Sylvester up ahead. Martin has 4. King now realizes, well, we're in a ball game. Remember, yesterday they weren't tested. They jumped out to a 13-0 lead and cruised. Sharif the other way. This is Jamie Brandon. No. Sharif back up and in. Ahmad Sharif, who scored 11 points in the quarterfinals yesterday.
Both teams wanting to show the 1-2-2 ball press, falling back in a 2-3 zone.
McKinney took his eye off the dribble, and that resulted in a turnover.
That plagued East St. Louis Lincoln yesterday, some 25 turnovers, Jim.
Sure did. And of course, they lost 2 people to fouls. Rico Sylvester was gone, as was the center, Ronald Willis. Brandon will come out top, and they'll go around the perimeter. There's Selvey. This is going to be tough.
King is wanting to attack the 2-3 Lincoln zone with two people in the low post position and 3-guard system.
Rico Sylvester has it go off his knee. Good defense that time by Johnny Selvey.
Second turnover.
And the 4-4 tie is about to be unknotted if, in fact, Chicago King can find the magic mark. Snipes. Sharif will just roam the baseline. Right. And if they pack it in like they're trying to do against Selvey, who couldn't get that shot, now we've got a whistle and a foul underneath. That'll be against Damian Porter.
King wants to put Selvey at one box and block, and Porter at the other block, and then have their guards just reverse the ball and try to get the ball inside by either Porter or Selvey. And of course, they're big kids and strong in there. East St. Louis Lincoln is trying to pack in that 2-3 zone. Now you see King in their 1-2-2 ball press, Jim.
That is the voice of Mel Rustio, the head coach at Jacksonville, a Sweet 16er this year before they ran into Peoria Central. Jackson with a nice pass. Willis, though, will not have anywhere to go because it's blocked by Porter. They'll kick it back out. Sylvester, nice pass to Martin, up and in, but they won't count it because they said Martin took a step before he fired.
Good interior passing by East St. Louis Lincoln, except Willis got hung up in there and really couldn't do much with the basketball, but Selvey bailed him out.
You talk about your size. And now a turnover the other way as Sharif took his eye off the basketball. King comes at you under the hoop with Damian Porter at 235, Selvey at 210, and then Brandon is packed in at 200 pounds. Of course, he can hit a 30-footer or a 3-footer. Jackson way outside. That won't fall. Sylvester fights and loses with Brandon. Jamie Brandon, all universe. Down. Look at that pass to Sharif. Blocked underneath by Willis. Woo!
I think we had a little contact in there, Coach.
Martin traveled again. That's his second consecutive turnover. Well, there's 2 trends of thought. Do you let them play, or do you let the officials and the whistles decide?
More than let them play. The guy got clobbered, let's face it. Be honest about it. Turnovers 3 apiece. Some of those are unforced turnovers, Jim. And that's attributed to a little nervousness here. They know the significance of this ball game.
Jamie Brandon, 1-on-2, finds a crease, goes up, doesn't hit it, gets his own rebound, and he'll force it up, and that's not a good idea. Conzo Martin, with good defense, kept the arm straight up in the air. Jackson spots McKinney. McKinney had a great game yesterday with 20 points against Aurora East. Martin turned it over again. That's 3 straight for the All-Stater. Down the other way is Snipes. Nice move.
Again, those turnovers really plagued Lincoln yesterday, and they're turning it over quite a bit right now.
Snipes with a good defensive play. Pays a visit to the East St. Louis Lincoln bench.
Conzo Martin had posted up earlier. That last time he went out on the perimeter.
King leading at 6-4. We're early here in the first quarter. Semifinal action in the 2A state tournament of Illinois.
King is putting some pressure in the passing lane and trying to deny East St. Louis the opportunity to reverse the ball in that fashion.
To quote Sonny Cox after yesterday's win, in the Central Red Division of the Chicago Public League, you meet great defenses every night out. McKinney,
oh, it's from downtown.
That's a 3, and the Tigers have the lead again at 7-6. Sharif makes a bad pass, picked off by Vincent Jackson. Jackson leaves it for McKinney, back to Jackson, and a foul. Good interior passing.
Excellent passing, Jim. And of course, you know, Vincent Jackson plays in the back of that diamond and one defense. You can see him here come up and get the steal, and now he's going to make the nice feed off, get the return pass right here, and that's when he's fouled. McKinney and Jackson really look for one another very well.
Jackson has the hands of a wide receiver and the leap to go along with it. Checking into the ball game for Coach Sonny Cox will be Fred Schofield, a 5'10", 165 junior. Sharif will grab a seat for the time being.
East St. Louis is not a great free throw shooting ball club.
There you saw Landon Cox with his assistants Benny Parrott and Elmer McCaskey. 1 of 2 at the line, and it's 8-6 Tigers. Chicago King won the AA state championship in '86. In '87, it was East St. Louis Lincoln. Ditto that in 1988. Schofield won't shoot a lot outside. He'll burn you on the break, though.
Trying to post up Selvey and Porter inside.
The great thing about Selvey is his hands, not just his strength, but if you get him the ball, he'll catch it. Schofield took a jumper, couldn't get it. Rebound and a foul as Damian Porter grabbed the offensive glass and went right back up with it.
Kind of like King's idea. They're patient in the half court. They want to post up the big kids. You see here the shot, and then the rebound here, and the subsequent foul on Porter. Porter's a big kid. He can horse in there.
Vincent Jackson picks up his first personal foul. Ahmad Sharif is set to come back in. Looks like Sonny Cox is going to go with a little bit smaller lineup right now, because after this free throw, Damian Porter is going to check out. Sharif will check back in, so you'll have Snipes, Sharif, and Schofield in the ballgame. It'll be quick on quick here, Coach.
Yeah, go for a little smaller lineup, a little more quickness.
Peoria Central and Rock Island will follow. Peoria Central still undefeated at 31-0, despite Mr. Cole last night for Chicago Heights Blue. What a show that was. Vincent Jackson goes baseline, hangs in the air, won't get it to fall. Rebound comes down to Sharif, who gets it out quickly to Brandon. Look out now, one-on-one, and he is fouled, and how, going up by McKinney.
You just have to stop Jamie Brandon, if you can, out farther on the floor. Once he gets inside that circle, that arc, he's tough to deal with. You see him coming here and put the crossover step on here. Now he stops, and he draws the foul. He's such a great athlete, Jim. If he gets inside, he's going to either score or get fouled.
He's got those great shooting wrists. He follows the ball right through the hole, as you said yesterday, and he's also got sprinter's legs.
Yes. And his teammates will tease him about that for weeks to come. You know, how you shot the air ball in the Assembly Hall state game.
Well, if he does make it to the NBA and he's making those big dollars, he won't be teased that much.
Got that right.
Well, Brandon misses an opportunity to put King up. We're still tied at 8. Vincent Jackson. That's his shot, but it won't fall. Tipped by Willis, no. He kept it alive, and it comes back out to Willis, who did a good job. Jackson with a cross-court pass to Martin, who was hammered.
That may very well be where they miss the big Porter kid on that situation right there, where they can get 2 and 3 offensive rebounds. Jackson, a great shooter, as we know, Jim, pulls up so nicely on his jump shot. Doesn't get it down, but you're going to see Conzo Martin come in after the attempted tip and get fouled here.
And Willis kept that thing alive twice. Jackson helped out. And Conzo Martin at the free throw line. 76% shooter from the stripe. As far as leading scorers in this tournament, Thomas Wyatt, when the day started from Aurora East, was the leader with 63 points in 2 games. But since his team was eliminated yesterday, that won't hold. And do we have a lane violation? We do.
Looks as if it was Selvey. It was.
Speaking of lane violations, and Frank Bissoni might be able to help us out here, against South Shore, the way I heard the story was that South Shore was at the free throw line with about 2 seconds remaining. The shooter not only missed the free throw, but also went in the lane too early, which gave Chicago King the ball out of bounds. They inbounded. Up, McKinney is good. King inbounded and got that shot, and a buzzer beater by Brandon, the three-pointer to win it. That's a tough way to lose and a great way to win. McKinney with the offensive rebound. Talk about a lane violation that hurts you.
Yeah. You don't see that happen much. Conzo Martin missed 3 consecutive free throws, but of course McKinney got the offensive board and put it back up.
Working it around the perimeter. Brandon shut off down there by Martin. Martin can play defense with the best of them as well.
Long arms, great anticipator.
Out front, Schofield. King's coming up short. Selvey will muscle it back up and be fouled out front by Rico Sylvester. And yesterday, when Sylvester got into foul trouble early in the second half, a lot of people were wondering, well, he's got 3 fouls. Why doesn't Benny Lewis pull him? Well, Benny Lewis stated that when Sylvester was sick earlier in the year, he missed 3 games, and the entire offense kind of disintegrated, so he thought he had to keep him in, and even when he picked up his 4th early in the second half, he had to keep him in.
Well, that's just a feeling a coach has about his ball players, and Benny Lewis knows better than you and I. He's been with them the entire season, and that's a risk you take. What King's trying to do offensively here, Jim, is trying to rotate Jamie Brandon through East St. Louis Lincoln's 2-3 zone to the opposite side and swing the ball around to him to free him up for his jump shot. The ball stopped that time at the top when the shot was taken by Schofield. But look for him to swing the ball to Jamie Brandon in their offensive scheme.
Nobody's hitting free throws. By my count, that's 7 consecutive free throws missed by both teams.
Right.
And a bad pass, but fortunately for East St. Louis Lincoln, Brandon came up to make the steal, just got a fingertip on it. We've got a timeout on the floor. It's shaping up as a good one. 1:47 remaining here in the first quarter as you see Benny Lewis and crew. Let's take timeout for one of your network sponsors, the Illinois Pork Producers.
If it's time to watch what you eat, there's a meat that's surprisingly low in calories. Pork, the other white meat.
A heritage we're proud of, a future you can trust. The first National Bank of Peoria since 1863. We were first to lead the way to financial
college recruiter in the country knows the name Jamie Brandon, and so does the East St. Louis Lincoln defense today.
Well, they're paying particular attention to him, Jim, and rightly so. They've got Vincent Jackson on one wing in their 2-3 and Conzo Martin on the other wing, and they're paying very close attention to Jamie Brandon.
Lincoln hitting 50% of its shots. King only 3 of 10. Out front, Rico Sylvester.
Sylvester did a smart thing there, Jim. He stepped right into the seam of that 2-3 and challenged him and got it down.
They gave him the 3. His momentum carried him over the stripe, but when he let it go, he was in three-point land. So East St. Louis Lincoln with its biggest lead of the morning at 13-8. Against the zone. Snipes looks it over and kicks it around to the side. There's Jamie Brandon. Pass inside. Selby lost the handle. Good defense by the Tigers. Jackson the other way almost turned it over and then was fouled by Snipes. He almost got that ball cut up on his hip.
Yeah. During that timeout, obviously, Landon Cox instructed his kids to get the ball inside to Selby.
Now this is rare. Okay. Selby kind of loses the handle, but there's a reason for it.
You see the good pressure out on Jamie. See Jamie cutting through the zone, and then you see the lob into Selby. Selby's double team.
Martin misses the jumper, and high for the rebound is Jamie Brandon, and with the foul is Vincent Jackson.
That last shot that Jerry had there, that's a good picture of what they're trying to do with Jamie, to send him on through to the other side. And I think King would be well advised if they'd reverse the ball and then get it inside.
Full court pressure applied. Sharif gets away from the double team. Turnover wise, we are even at 5s. 2-3 zone, and it's worked so far. Snipes, who doesn't shoot a lot, only averaging 4 points a game. When you got Brandon and Selby around, not to mention Sharif, there's not enough balls to go around. Brandon, they're working it nice now. Goes along the baseline, forces it up, and he will pick up a trip to the charity line as Ronald Willis picks up the personal. Again, if you weren't with us yesterday, that young man there, Willis, has only been playing 2 years of organized basketball. He's 6'8", 235, and here's the swing.
Yeah, here's Jamie driving with the ball, Jamie Brandon, and Jamie's going to have the ball in his hand quite a bit this afternoon. He is as important for King as is Conzo Martin is for Lincoln. Both ball players, for the team to be successful, have to have the ball. They have to be shooting the ball. You made a comment that yesterday Martin got 11 shots and yet scored 20 points. You know, if he gets 16, 17 shots, what you'd like for him to have, maybe he's in the approaching 30.
Brandon has his free throw eye back, and with 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it's a 13-10 ball game. The Tigers with the basketball and the advantage. Rico Sylvester, and now they've got to go. They've got to go. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Vincent Jackson's going to fire, but he can't get rid of it because Brandon slapped that out of bounds with only a tick left in the first quarter.
King has to pack it in here and worry a little bit now about the lob inside, maybe to somebody like Conzo Martin.
Mr. Lewis will inbound to Willis, who will fire, but it's partially blocked by Selby. That's the way the first quarter comes to a close. East St. Louis Lincoln with the edge. Let's pause now for this from the Country Companies, proud sponsors of the IHSA telecast since 1972.
Making it to the final game has taught me a lot about teamwork. I don't think we'd have been in that final game if we hadn't played together so well as a team. Playing in the IHSA tournament will stick with me the rest of my life.
Keith Mashoff, guard for Nashville's 1978 Class A championship team, and his fellow Country Companies agents salute the players in this week's tournament.
I wish everyone would be able to experience it for themselves.
At Hardee's, we use 100% pure American beef because we never forget you can always go someplace else. At Hardee's, we use real dairy cheese because we never forget you can always go someplace else.
Coach Mel Rustio, both these teams can get up and down the floor, and they can put points on the board if they so desire, but Sonny Cox has opted to stay in that half-court offense. He's not getting his shots to fall right now, and I think Benny Lewis will settle for that any day, right?
Yeah, I think so, but both teams, I think, are showing respect for the other team's defense.
5 for 11 now in the first quarter for Lincoln. King still sitting at 3 out of 10. Long jumper, McKinney, not this time. With the rebound of Snipes. This is a fast break. This is Schofield. Nice body control.
Great move. Great move.
Fred Schofield only averages 5. Conzo Martin can't get it to fall. Rebound Jackson. He's hammered on the way up. Good crashing of the offensive glass by the Tigers. There were 3 of them there as opposed to 1 Jaguar.
And here again, you know, let's look at the great move here by Schofield. Crossover dribble right here. Uses his body, comes to the opposite side for a little scoop shot. And the youngster's got great strength in his legs, as you can see.
Here comes the hero, Sharif Ford. He was the man who was at the other end of the pass by Conzo Martin, the one that Mr. Martins, the coach of Aurora East, will never, ever forget. Vincent Jackson.
Just like you remember the name Anthony Smedley, you will remember that name right there.
That's right.
Especially if they go on to win it.
Jackson, a 53% shooter from the stripe, gets 1 of 2. St. Louis Lincoln with a 14-12 lead. Brandon with the basketball. He'll go to the hole and won't get it. Nothing but air. Vincent Jackson, he may not have the body of a rebounder, but he certainly has the heart of one, doesn't he?
He really does, and he's such a tenacious type of ball player and a great shooter. Maybe the most valuable ball player in many aspects.
Jackson way outside, too much rim. High for the rebound. Keeping it alive was Sharif Ford, and putting it back down was Martin.
That's where it starts, right there with this ball club. Conzo Martin heads the diamond in 1 press.
Ooh, Brandon almost picked up the charge as Jackson tried to get it.
Coach Cox is going to bring quarterback in. He just has to. He needs the boards.
Brandon outside. The sweet jumper won't go this time. And now the Tigers are running. It's a 2-on-1. Turning it over was McKinney. McKinney looked up. He looked up to see who was filling the center of the lane, which was Martin, and he took his eye off the dribble.
Now, what Chris should have done is he had a 2-on-1 fast break, and he was waiting for a third man to develop, and he needed to just go ahead and take the 2-on-1 advantage. Porter back in the ball game for the offensive board.
Uh-oh, Rico Sylvester has picked up one of those fouls that Benny Lewis is going to get yet another gray hair out of.
He has a tendency to do that. He's a quick youngster, but yet he reaches in with the hands, and that got him in trouble yesterday.
That's 2 for Sylvester, and that, of course, Sonny Landon Cox. 8 years at Chicago King. In 8 years, he's lost 28 games.
Incredible record. Jamie Brandon just can't get his spot on the floor. He's intimidated just a little bit by the Lincoln zone. They're paying too much attention to him.
King is not shooting free throws well. As a matter of fact, speaking of Mr. Brandon, he has yet to hit a field goal, and we have played 9.5 minutes. East St. Louis Lincoln trying to take a 6-point lead against the Chicago Public League champions. And when you say Chicago Public League champions, you're talking about a great team. Sylvester buries 3.
The second time Sylvester has stepped up into the seam of that 2-3 zone to hit the 3-pointer.
7-point Tiger lead. Cox calls out the offensive set. We'll try to get it down into Selvey if possible. He's covered up nicely by Sharif Ford and Martin, so Brandon will do it himself.
Brandon caught the ball at the top of the circle that time, dribbled to the left of the key to score.
That's 4 points now for Mr. Brandon. Oh, a good steal there by Selvey, who makes the behind-the-back pass, gets it back, goes to the hole, and charges. And Conzo Martin points a finger at Selvey and says, "This is basketball, man. You can't come in here like that."
Check that out. He tried to put a move on. You see the steal here.
Great steal.
Excellent steal.
And a great save.
Ball. Now he recovers. He's going to fill the right lane. He gets the bounce pass. He tries to put a spin move on. And I got doubts that was actually a charge.
Well, let's give Martin an 8 on a scale of 10 on Hollywood Boulevard.
Right, right.
But sometimes that's what charges boil down to, Coach.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough call to make. I'm not being critical. We have the advantage of an instant replay. It's a tough call to make.
Tigers with a 5-point lead. McKinney, good head fake. That's not going to go. A little bit too hard. Ball tipped out to Snipes. Snipes almost turned it over. Makes a good cross-court pass, and Sharif buries it.
Excellent pass. Snipes had his head up, saw the whole floor, and made the pass.
Vincent Jackson, 1-on-3, still got it to go.
We've seen East St. Louis Lincoln play before. Teams can come back on them, but you're going to have to stop their transition if you're going to make a run on it.
It's the kind of game where you get the stopwatch out for hang time only. Snipes tried to make a pass across court. Sonny Cox says, settle down, Victor.
He wants more of a half-court game. He doesn't want that transition. He's got the big kids inside. He's got the great shooter in Jamie Brandon.
4:30 remaining here in the first half. East St. Louis Lincoln trying to do what no other team in the history of Illinois basketball has ever done. Selvey inside, fouled from behind. Conzo Martin picked up the personal. And that would be, getting back to East St. Louis Lincoln, 3 state championships in a row.
I think when we saw the stats, team stats at the top of the show, Jim, I thought I recognized something then, that there was a great discrepancy in the number of free throws shot by King as opposed to Lincoln. If my recall is correct, I think King throughout the season has gone to the free throw line more frequently than has East St. Louis Lincoln, which is indicative of one thing: King goes inside probably more often.
That's right. Johnny Selvey, who made 10 of 12, make that 12 of 20 from the free throw line yesterday. Misses. Porter is fouled.
There's a couple theories there too, Jim. When you go inside frequently, you get a higher percentage shot. Okay, you go to the free throw line more frequently, and you eventually start playing against the second team because the first team or your opponent gets in foul trouble.
That's all good news.
It's all good stuff, isn't it? And it's all an indictment against the three-point shot.
But I know all you coaches love it now. I haven't heard a coach say he doesn't like it anymore. I know that it was about 60-40 when I took my old.
I like the three-point shot. I think it's good for basketball, but I still like the old-fashioned three-point play.
Porter, King better start hitting their free throws, or we'll be talking about this during the post-game show.
Yeah, if you're going to play catch-up, you got to score points when the clock's dead.
6:10, 2:35. Porter makes 1 of 2.
I'd have a hard time sitting Porter down. He's an awesome youngster out there in terms of physique.
Vincent Jackson goes high to save the pass. Sylvester, high post. Martin, good body control, and he traveled. There was some contact in there, but not enough for a foul, according to the official. Porter did a good job of defensing it.
Conzo was surprised that there was defense there after he put a move on it.
Sharif quickly breaks the pressure. They go around the perimeter. Brandon in and out and back in again. When you can shoot, yeah, when you can shoot, the basket's actually bigger, at least in the mind. That's where it all counts anyway. Oh, now almost a steal out front. Jackson fighting for it. Gets it back to Sylvester. That's not an over and back because King had touched it. Sylvester, who has 2 3-pointers, is covered up that time by Snipes. It's a great name for a defensive player, isn't it? Snipes. Sylvester puts a good move on out front and then throws it away. Trying for McKinney. McKinney not there. That's one of those plays like in football where you want your wide receiver to be at a certain spot. You throw the ball before he's there. That was the play.
But that's why you can come back on East St. Louis Lincoln, because they show that tendency to turn the ball over.
They had a big lead yesterday against Aurora East.
There they have 9. 25 yesterday.
King shooting for the lead. Sharif gets it. Ahmad Sharif, the junior.
The forgotten one.
Best kept secret in Chicago.
That's what the man said.
To paraphrase Mr. Cox. 6 points now for Sharif. He had 11 yesterday. He averages 14. Oh, almost a bad pass. Jackson better save it. That's over and back because
now.
King did not touch it. You can't throw lazy passes up
there.
there.
You can. That time down the floor, King shifted their defense into a 1-2-2. And you'll see Jamie Brandon just measure it from the weak side. He may have got by with a little bump there. And, of course, Vincent Jackson gets the over and back violation.
There's a timeout on the floor. King has the lead, 22-21. Let's pause for these messages.
When we say we're going to change the way you buy a car forever, this is what we mean.
We at Velde Oldsmobile Cadillac give special attention to a complete selection. Every model we sell, we try to have on the lot in a variety of colors and with value option packages that will save you money.
Now our Cadillac service technician is available to you 24 hours a day with this new service vehicle equipped with parts and tools.
Velde Oldsmobile Cadillac. Just 2 ways we're going to change the way you buy a car forever.
Some lawn tractors can make the smoothest lawn feel like a minefield.
Not John Deere. Our tractors are designed for smooth and quiet operation at a very comfortable price. Right now, save up to $300 on our complete line of lawn and garden tractors. And here's where you can get them.
John Deere and Tom's Lawn and Garden. 2 names that stand for quality. Call us today.
For 17 years, Tom's Lawn and Garden has offered top quality John Deere products. Call Tom's today.
Nothing runs like a Deere.
As the numbers indicate, it is tight at the Assembly Hall in the semifinal game. First one coming your way this morning and this afternoon. This will be followed by Peoria Central and an upstart defensive Rock Island Rock team.
Both teams pretty equal at the field goal. Both of them right at 46%.
Well, turnovers have given the momentum back to Chicago King. They just took a lead on Therese jump shot, and Brandon can't get it up top. But with the big rebound, his Selvey won't fall. Tip, tip, tip. And East St. Louis Lincoln comes out of there with it. Sylvester gets it up to Jackson. Watch this happen. Nice pass over to McKinney. Yeah. Jackson just sees the floor so well, and he makes immediate decisions.
Yes, he does. He has his head up. He's always seeing his teammates, and he makes excellent passes. Good judgment.
Under the 2-minute mark here in the first half.
I think you saw that last time down the floor why you like to have Porter and Selvey in there together. They really can get on the boards, and it relaxes a kid like that. See?
Brandon's off the mark, but Selvey, who had an offensive rebound and a cripple, missed an easy one inside. He might have been thinking there was company there. Sylvester back to McKinney, and they lost it out of bounds.
Selvey just anticipated something that wasn't there, but I think that's why you like those kids in if you're a King fan, because Jamie Brandon, who's struggling a little bit with his perimeter game, can shoot that.
Lincoln now with 11 turnovers. That one was costly. They could have taken a 3-point lead. Brandon, his shot's not there yet. And it's still not there. Ball tipped around. Jackson tried to save it. It's probably a good thing he didn't save it back in because
Selvey was right there to put it up and in.
And with those kinds of hands, he would have grabbed it.
You just got to tell a shooter like Jamie, just keep cranking it up when you're open.
Sharif, good head fake. I bet it goes.
You bet you're right.
He's so calm when he's in there. Speaking about shooting, my favorite quote is, of course, from World B. Free, who went something like 3 for 23. And after the game, they asked him, well, what happened out there? He said, I don't know. Every shot felt good when it left.
That's right. That's a shooter's mentality. And, you know, you've got to let shooters crank it up. If this guy is the player we believe he is and his coach believes he is, you don't tell him to not shoot because he's having a cold spell right now.
Brandon missed picking up a personal foul until that last one. Free throws.
Both teams could bemoan that back, couldn't they, Jim?
That's for sure. 2 for 6 and 5 for 12. So Brandon with his first personal. Rico Sylvester now.
We're on a roll with exciting close ball games here.
We've had 3 in a row, and we're on number 4 here. And Sylvester now has 8 points here in the first half, and East St. Louis Lincoln has a 25-24 advantage, and we have now exactly 1 minute remaining here in the first half. And a foul out front. Uh-oh, that's Martin, and that's 2.
You don't want to pick up that foul here at this time inside a minute.
Now, Benny Lewis knows what a smart and intelligent basketball player Conzo Martin is. So he may not pull him here with the last 55 seconds on the clock. Some coaches, though, might with 2. They're saying, I don't want to get that third one here.
That's right. King could be ahead in this ball game if they take the opportunity there and convert the free throws. They're just struggling under 40%.
Good position that time by Ronald Willis in the blocks to get the rebound. And let's see what the Tigers want to do. McKinney kicks it back out. This is Vincent Jackson. 4-3.
He had no idea waiting for the last shot of the half, did he? He felt it, nailed it.
Well, they were thinking, let's get 2 shots before the half. That one and one more. You can bet King won't hold either. Brandon with contact. That shot won't count.
NBA it would.
The foul will go against McKinney. Sonny Cox says count the basket, but not at this level of basketball.
He's dreaming there. Here's where you need to start counting baskets. King has to get on track here at the free throw line, Jim. I mean, they're penetrating, they're getting fouled, and they're just been horrible this morning at the line.
Christopher McKinney now has 2, as does Conzo Martin. Here he is, Jamie Brandon. Boy, they cannot make from the charity strike. They don't call it charity for nothing, Coach.
Right.
So when you turn down charity, you're shooting yourself in the foot. 20 seconds remaining here in the first half. Now the Tigers will say, we've got the lead going into the locker room. It'll either be 4, 6 with a 2-pointer, or 7 with a 3. Martin inside, blocked, but a foul on Damian Porter.
Smart move by Conzo Martin, too. He knew he had a one-on-one situation after the East St. Louis spread them right here. Watch him catch here at the side.
I like what he does with his body. Watch him use it as a weapon in between the defender.
That's right. Little crossover step on his drive, and then he got the ball, his body between the ball and the defender. Smart basketball player, Jim.
He, of course, teamed with LaFonso Ellis to help bring 2 state championships to East St. Louis Lincoln. And I swear, I saw him play those 2 years down here, and as soon as LaFonso left, the mantle was passed.
Yep.
And Vincent Jackson doesn't do a bad job either as a co-captain.
Makes some college a fine basketball player.
Well, Conzo is so sweet with that wrist. King better hurry. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Sharif almost traveled. And now the ball is knocked out of bounds by Jackson. Sonny Cox says think. And they better do it. They better think in a hurry because they got 3 seconds left. They're down by 6 at the half. We got a good one. The second half should be great. A long shot by Brandon off the top of the. You can tell by the way he took it. That's not out of his range. We are at the half. East St. Louis Lincoln leads Chicago King 30-24. We'll be back after this from one of your network sponsors, John Deere.
The John Deere promise. Buy this new 1989 walk-behind, test drive it for a full month. If you don't agree it's the best mower you ever used, you can bring it back for a full refund?
The new 1989 John Deere walk-behind. We've either got the best walk-behind mower ever made, or we've got a big problem.
Welcome back to the Assembly Hall, where 4 teams are left for the fight for the crown. East St. Louis Lincoln has been there many, many times before, as we've noted, as has Chicago King, who won the state championship back in 1986. But when you shoot 5 of 14 from the free throw line in the first half, which the Jaguars did, crowns may not be forthcoming.
Well, that's right. And, you know, they just killed themselves this first half at the free throw line, Jim. When you go there, they've done an excellent job of taking the ball inside the paint. They're getting fouled. and yet they're not converting their free throws. And, you know, they've got to get on track there. Lincoln, as we discussed off mic, has a very sound approach. They up tempo when the opportunity is there, yet they're not forcing their game. They're shooting rather well. And I think that you've got to see Jamie Brandon with the ball a little bit more. He's got to become involved in King's offense.
Speaking of that, there's a saying in baseball that everybody knows, and that is good pitching always stops good hitting. In basketball, it is still possible that good defense will always stop good offense. Maybe Brandon Cole is an exception to that rule from Chicago Heights Bloom, but the defense that Benny Lewis is putting on Jamie Brandon is obviously having its effect. Brandon is helping it out somewhat by not hitting his stroke, but still, that's the story of this first half, the free throws and the lack of scoring from Brandon.
Right, exactly, and I think good defense along with controlling the defensive board, it can stop a good offense any night, and I think that's what you're seeing with East St. Louis. The one or two times that King got the offensive board, they missed a couple of bunny shots inside. So East St. Louis is playing an excellent defensive ball game. They're very conscious of where Jamie Brandon is on the floor, and King has to get him freed up.
And let's not forget about Rico Sylvester. He's hit 2 3-pointers. He hit 2 free throws. He has 8 of East St. Louis Lincoln's 30 points, and Benny Lewis says the offense runs better when he's there, and it certainly is. Now let's go courtside to our colleague, Art Kimball. Art?
Thank you very much, Jim. We have a gentleman with us that I'm very pleased to introduce to the television audience, John Bailey Jr., the principal at East St. Louis Lincoln High School. And John, you're shooting for number 3. This has had to excite the old halls of East St. Louis Lincoln a little bit.
Right, we're all excited going for number 3. You know, the kids have done an outstanding job. We lost our big boy to Notre Dame, and they figured that this year that we would be kind of down and out, but the kids just got it together, and they've done an outstanding job.
I'm going to back off here. I don't know if our camera can get a good picture of John's tie here, but that's one of the classic ties of the tournament, the Tiger. There you go. You get a good look at it. John, are those in general circulation, or are you the proud owner of only one?
No, we have 3 in the building. I have one, my assistant principal have one, and one of my teachers, Mr. Johnson, brought these back from from New York. He went to a convention up there, and he brought these back, and they came in just in time. The tie of the Tiger.
East St. Louis Lincoln has had a great run, of course, going for a 3rd straight AA state championship. You had the tremendous talents of LaFonso Ellis, who I know you're very proud of, over Notre Dame now. And these kids have bounced back without LaFonso. It does a great deal for the program and for Benny Lewis.
Right, Benny's done an outstanding job. LaFonso left us, and we were left with Quanzo. Quanzo said he would take up the slack, and he did an outstanding job in doing that. And we're just so proud. Coach Lewis has been with us for 17 years, and I think the decade of the 80s is ours. And believe me, he works real good and do an outstanding job with these young men.
You and I were talking about East St. Louis in general athletically. Assumption was here in the Class A tournament, very representative. Right. East St. Louis senior has been a perennial state football power. You guys, intercity competition has to be wild down there.
Oh, it's pretty good. But we like to mention also that our girl track team have won the state 8 consecutive years and 10 out of the last 11 years. And our boys track team won 4 or 5 consecutive state titles also, along with our girls basketball team. And our band is the #1 jazz band in the nation, and our speech team is one also. So we got a well-rounded program, and we're quite proud of it.
Yeah, I see you have a very lengthy list of distinguished alumni.
Right.
Well, John, thank you so much for taking the time to come visit with us, and congratulations to the already achieved achievements, if I can put it that way, of East St. Louis Lincoln, and best wishes to you in the future.
My pleasure, and thanks very much for having me.
Thank you. John Bailey, Jr., the principal at East St. Louis Lincoln High School. Now let's take time out for one of your network sponsors, the Illinois Pork Producers.
Madame?
I'll have the chicken divin.
Ah oui.
But make it with pork.
Huh? The tetrazzini, but with pork. Certainement.
Salamandine, and with pork.
Pork. Chicken Kiev, but with pork. Oui, monsieur.
I'd like some fried chicken.
Oui, madame. Fried pork.
You can do almost anything with pork. Pork, the other white meat.
Biggs Awning and Window Company knows it makes good sense to increase your home's value, security, and energy efficiency with Fiberlux replacement windows from Biggs. Fiberlux windows from Biggs feature triple insulating glass, weather strip double interlock for added weatherproofing and security. Easy to remove sashes for fast and safe inside cleaning. See the Fiberlux replacement window today at Biggs Awning and Window Company, where quality has been first, last, and always since 1947.
There are still 16 minutes remaining to decide who will go to the Class AA championship game tonight. And of course, you can see that right here on the IHSA television network. We'll be on the air tonight at 6 o'clock with Before the Tip-Off, and you'll see a lot of great individual athletes as we take a look at them and some of the highlights that they have put on here at the assembly floor. 30-24 is our score at the intermission. And, you know, getting back to Chicago King and the inability to get it inside, Selvy's only had the ball inside maybe 2 or 3 times, and a couple of times it got kicked back out by the East St. Louis Lincoln defense.
East St. Louis Lincoln's playing excellent in their 2-3 zone. Their wing people, Vincent Jackson and Conzo Martin, are paying particular attention to Jamie Brandon, where he is on the floor. They're quick to get out to him, but they're also packing in against the strong side hole man. So to keep the ball out of Selvy's hand is certainly of a paramount importance to them. But as we talked before, Jim, for King to be successful, certainly they've got to continue to take the ball inside, not to be intimidated, go to the free throw line and convert, and get the ball into Jamie Brandon's hand. On the other end of the floor, East St. Louis, as it gets down to the wire, has to keep its best ball players on the floor, not to get in foul trouble, and take care of the basketball, because they've demonstrated the inability to do that.
I love the way you coaches talk. Packing it in against a strong side hole man. That's what it's all about. Field goal shooting in the first half. Lincoln, almost 53%. You see why King has its woes right now, only 37%. That free throw shooting is the bugaboo. You can't shoot 35% from the line and win too many games, although I'm sure King has because of their offensive strength. 60% for Lincoln. They'd like to kick that up as well. Look at the rebounding totals. 18-16, turnover-wise. East St. Louis Lincoln has got to protect that ball a little bit more in the first half and second half. Scoring-wise, Sylvester, as we said, with 8. McKinney with 7. Jackson with 7. Martin with only 6 again, but he's playing good defense as well, so it's spread out on the Tiger team as far as Chicago King is concerned. Sharif has 8. Brandon with only 7, and Porter with 3. We're coming back for the start of the second half, but first, here's a message from the country companies, proud sponsors of the IHSA telecast since 1972.
What did it mean coaching in the state tournament? It was really a dream come true. It was 2 sons playing basketball for me. It was my wife getting very involved. It was 2 sons that became all-state basketball players. It was a dream for a father that came true at Champaign, Illinois.
Bob Gregorich, who coached Havana to the Elite 8 5 times, and his fellow country companies' agents salute the players in this week's tournament.
Morning. Can I help you?
Yeah, looking for a new grain truck.
Sure. What corn are you planting this year?
A couple of new hybrids from DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
Oh, DeKalb Pfizer. I've got just what you need. What I heard about DeKalb Pfizer yields, you're going to need one of these.
Bigger payloads. And that's how we're earning our way on more of your acres.
24, here are the...
If you follow Illinois basketball at all, you know that Landon Cox, the coach of Chicago King, is a confident man. After yesterday's win in the quarterfinal round, he said, quote, if my team plays as well as it can play, it has a chance to beat any team down here. And Simeon, Marshall, Dunbar, Vocational, and Robeson are as good as any team in the state's Elite 8. Let's see if he overlooked East St. Louis Lincoln. It is Sharif, Snipes, Jamie Brandon, Selvey, and also Porter in there. This shot won't go by Sharif. Ooh, Selvey had it blocked by Willis, I believe. Where did that hand come?
Selvey's got to pump fake and take the ball up stronger and anticipate that.
The Tigers trying to go up by 8. Oh, by 11 if Jackson makes that, but not to be. But scrambling after the basketball is Conzo Martin.
A little confusion in King's defense. He didn't know what somebody, I think he wants him in a man-to-man defense, and some folks were still playing his own.
Jackson throws it up. Can't hit that one. That was a wild shot. Martin underneath the hole. He'll go up, and it's travel.
Good call. Good call.
Good defense by King, who kept their arms straight up, and Conzo had to come back down.
Coach Cox is reminding Jamie Brandon that they're playing the 50, whatever the 50 is. Suspect it may be man-to-man at half court.
Some pressure. But it's broken easily by Victor Snipes, wearing number 25.
2-3 Lincoln zone again.
Brandon and Sylvester bump out front. Down low, Selvey. Double team, spins, and can't get it to fall, but he gets it back. That ball squirted out of the lane, and King gets a break and will be able to restart its offense. Brandon. Oh, no, he is cold. Rebound comes down to Mr. Willis. In a hurry is McKinney. He best wait for help.
Jamie's just hesitating on his shot a little bit, and I think it's enough to throw him off.
For East St. Louis Lincoln, it's Sylvester McKinney, Willis, Martin, Jackson. He just passed it off to the aforementioned McKinney.
It is a King man-to-man defense.
Conzo Martin blocked. That is goaltending. That is goaltending. As Damian Porter got up a little too late, that ball was definitely coming down.
This shot here, Conzo posts up, moves to the inside, and then, of course, Selvey comes over and knocks it out of the cylinder. Goaltending, good call.
8-point Tiger lead. They're killing King softly, aren't they?
Yes, they are. King is really struggling with an offensive rhythm here. They just can't get into anything.
Here's a move inside, back to Brandon, and he will be fouled. Fred Schofield has checked back into the ball game now.
2 trips down the floor. King has gotten the ball into Selvey, and they have pulled up an empty bucket. Selvey got the one shot blocked and then missed the other shot. And that's got to be frustrating because they're giving him the ball inside.
Brandon, who averages 28 points a game and 7 rebounds, has been kept quiet by the Tiger defense so far, but a player of Brandon's caliber can click you off 20 in 1 8-minute span.
And you know the bench over there, the coaching staff with King is just waiting for that segment in this game where Jamie gets the hot hand. You know, you've been there with those great ball players. They just got to have a stretch in a ball game where they're unstoppable.
Again, the smaller lineup for Coach Landon Cox. Damian Porter is back on the bench. Snipes, Sharif, and Schofield are in the ball game.
You know, as poorly as King is playing, you're surprised they're in the ball game as well as they are.
That was a bad pass, and now they finally do pay the price as East St. Louis Lincoln turns it over. The other way, Brandon, hang and score. Doesn't take long.
About their 12th turnover. You said that's one of the reasons you can come back on East St. Louis Lincoln is they don't take care of the ball very well.
Oh, McKinney almost made a dangerous pass. He did. Jackson got it back and scored. Well, that's pure athleticism there.
That's right. They answered it. They answered it.
Jackson now with 9 on the ball game. Schofield through traffic is fouled by Vincent Jackson.
Jackson or Sylvester? It is Jackson.
Against that pressure of King, if you just, what they force you to do with the long arms is lob the ball up over the first defender, and that plays right into their hands because they're so quick. That second layer of defenders is right there to bat it away or pick it off.
We'll come back. That's a good observation, Jim.
Brandon couldn't get it. Uh-oh, McKinney's 1-on-2. He'll get it across the way to Vincent Jackson. Hang time, no. Came up short and charged.
Good call, charge. The observation you made, oftentimes in zone trapping situations, you tell your answers. You see the replay here on the charge. He gets set and he takes it. And that's just good sound basketball to take that charge there. But you'll tell your ball players if you trap in that situation, you're not going to steal in the initial trap, but your teammate anticipating the pass is the one that's going to get the steal. And to make young people understand that defensively is critical in this game of basketball.
Down along the baseline, Brandon. Oh, that was playground time, and that gone in, and Brandon will go back to the line. While we get a chance, Coach, for all the people who are not familiar with the rule, describe when a basket counts on a charge and when it does not.
Here you come around here, Jamie Brandon drives the baseline so well, and again, he, like Conzo Martin, uses his body to protect the ball from the basket. Of course, he got the foul, but he did the smart thing, Jimmy. Threw the ball up while he was getting fouled. He got a chance it may go down.
Now, if Jackson had released that ball at the other end and it had gone in before he made contact.
Well, in that situation, high school basketball, now the rule is you can't award the basket. You can't award the basket when you charge. If you charge, you nullify the basket now. Years ago, you could do that. Not too many years ago, you could still do that. You could award the basket, call the charge, and a lot of times you did that, and the official got out of it. You know, he made both coaches happy.
That's right. But no longer, and that's why I wanted you to clarify that. East St. Louis Lincoln struggled against that pressure, but they got it across the timeline. 4:47 remaining here in the third quarter. The Tigers and the Jaguars going at it. Right now, East St. Louis Lincoln has the lead. Ball tipped out of bounds by Sharif.
Of course, in college ball, you can award the basket and the charging foul. Only in high school.
The inbound to Willis, and Willis doesn't want to be in that corner, and he threw it out of bounds. Eventually tapped out by Jamie Brandon.
If you're an East St. Louis Lincoln fan, you can't be happy with the way this game is unfolding, because your team's playing pretty well, and yet King is hanging right in there.
Sharif Ford in the ball game gets it to McKinney. A tough baseline turnaround. With all that timber in there, that's a tough shot to make.
Yes, it is, and McKinney showed you they can go inside and score as well as his outside.
King trailing by 6 again. This is Brandon. Hang. No, it won't go. Tipped up Selvino. Ball kicked out of there, and a foul on the Jaguars. Could be Brandon.
Brandon may be getting a little frustrated right now with his offense. Things just aren't falling for him, and he was over the back there on that foul.
So Jamie Brandon now picks up his second personal foul. Willis, who fouled moments ago, has 3. He fouled out yesterday, you might recall. And against King, you got to have Willis into the whole game.
Exactly. Little diamond in one press, token more than anything by King. Now they're back to their man-to-man defense.
Sylvester and Snipes showing you why high school basketball is so tough to play, because of the defense. Traveling called on Snipes eventually. Sonny Cox says, no, man, he got rid of it before he rolled over. And I quote.
And he may be right.
Oh, that's a terrible pass. Sylvester made a bad pass, and Snipes will cruise on home. That's one of those passes when you throw it, you're hesitating.
You wish you hadn't thrown it.
Ford gets it back out to Sylvester. The Tigers need to stabilize and get it out front to Willis, and he won't hit it. Ball tipped back and scored. A rebound by Jamie Brandon.
Feel a run coming on here, Jim.
Brandon trying to cut it to 2. Turned it over. Turned it over. In college, I don't think that call would have been forthcoming.
Big-time college move.
It really was.
Big-time college move.
So the Tigers survive that trip down. Willis gets it down low off
Turnover
the post.
situation. You got 15 for Lincoln and 8 for King.
Johnny Selvey thought that Willis kicked that off his leg, but not to be. You know, Willis took that shot, and I believe that is the first shot he's taken this entire tournament.
It looked like it might go.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go. What a bonus that would have been for Kenny Lewis.
Big one.
Hanzo Martin, he's been a little quiet offensively. Well, takes the pick, and he is not fouled. They're going to call an illegal pick on Ronald Willis, and that is 4.
You got that right. He was in foul trouble yesterday, and they can ill afford to lose a big body like that. Let's check out the pick here by Willis. He comes up. Evidently, they felt that he was moving, or he didn't give the guy enough room. I don't know.
Again, that's 4 on Willis. That was a tough call to make.
It was a tough call to make.
Jamie Brandon will march the other way and try to get King back to within 2. You don't sense any urgency on the King bench.
No, you really don't. And with 3:11 to go, they're in the bonus situation already. That's got to be something you like if you can hit them.
Well, Brandon's starting to get that eye back from 15 feet away.
And I noticed in the stat sheet that they shoot 84% from the field, from the free throw line on the year.
Well, I'd like to send those stats to MIT and get them looked at again. But if in fact they do shoot 84% from the field, that's about the best high school percentage I've seen.
It is very good.
East St. Louis Lincoln now trying to avoid the turnover bugaboo. That's what almost did him in yesterday against Aurora East. Rico Sylvester trying to find some opening. He finds one. In and out. Rebound underneath Martin. Yeah. Big rebound.
Martin came up with a big play there, right? And Sylvester was really forcing his own offense in that situation.
10 now for Conzo Martin. Brandon looks for an opening. If there is one, he'll find it, believe me. 2:36 remaining here in the third quarter. Jim Albrecht, now Rustio.
2-3
Make
zone.
that Rustio, coach.
Okay.
I mean, what the heck?
We've been called a lot of things.
Long jumper Brandon. That's got too much iron. Chip, no. Foul underneath. Will it be Selby or will it be East St. Louis Lincoln? It looks like Sharif Ford will pick up the personal.
Ford was over the back of Selby, I believe. Check the shot here. The jumper on the baseline. Selby has inside position. You'll see Ford go over the back as Selby tries to tip it up and in. So it's going to be Selby at the free throw line.
Well, if you're playing Chicago King and you had a genie around in the pregame locker room, you would rub the lamp and say, please don't let Jamie Brandon shoot like he always does.
Right. And he hasn't, and he hasn't.
That's right. Selby can't make the free throw. Rebound, Brandon up and in. We could have a three-point play.
Something like that now can really ignite a team like King. You know, I said a few minutes ago, I feel a run coming on here. There's a missed free throw, and you see Jamie get inside position just quickly. He just didn't do a good job of boxing him out on the free throw line there. And he came into the lane and got it. That's the old-fashioned three-point play he's going for, and Willis just fouled out.
I thought they called that on Sharif Ford, but they called it on Willis, and boy, that's a big call. That is a big call.
That's unfortunate. You know, you hate to see a youngster foul out of a game. It could be of championship quality, certainly when it's not his foul.
Well, I'd like to see it again. He may indeed have fouled him, but Brandon beat Ford to the block to get the rebound.
Yeah, maybe Jerry can cue it back up, but I think that I don't think it was Willis at all that fouled. Well, certainly.
At any rate, the big man for East St. Louis Lincoln, all 6'8", 235 pounds of him, is gone, and there are still over 10 minutes left.
Big loss.
Brandon gets the three-pointer. And we've got a timeout on the floor, and it's down to a one-point ball game. Lincoln holds the edge. Let's pause for these messages.
At Hardee's, our patties are cooked gently because we never forget you can always go someplace else. At Hardee's, we use freshly sliced onions because we never forget you can always go someplace else.
At UFS, we don't sell cheap goods. We sell quality. Cheap. You can get Armstrong and Cagoleum flooring, like Westinghouse appliances, and even Marilat cabinets for much less at UFS. For paint, carpeting, tools, roofing materials, vanities, cabinets, and appliances, plus everything you need to finish the job. You'll get the best buys at UFS. So buy the best, but get it for less at UFS.
UFS, where the savings are for real.
Going back to that fifth foul situation on Ronald Willis, it was not Sharif Ford in the block down low on the right side of your screen. It was indeed Ronald Willis. The call is correct and a good one by the official.
Yes, it was. We stand corrected. It was Willis's fifth foul.
So Willis is gone. And a turnover out front. Snipes gets it up ahead. Schofield can't get it to fall. Rebound comes down to McKinney. Marco Harris is in the ball game now for East St. Louis Lincoln, wearing number 13. Sylvester can't get it to fall, and Ford can't save it as it goes out of bounds. Again, number 13 is Marco Harris for East St. Louis Lincoln. We have not seen him yet in this tournament, but he's coming into a pressure cooker, that's for sure.
Well, you're going to see it really up-tempo now. I think you're going to see both teams in the next 7 minutes, or the next 9 minutes, put on a lot of heat.
It's saved back to McKinney. No, and a charge, man.
Good call.
Picking up. It's picking up.
Good call. Gutty play by Snipes. Snipes has had some big defensive plays in this ball game, Jim. He's a gutty kid. He's smart. And he's quick to get to his defensive positioning.
You can always tell how Chicago King is playing by the look on Sonny Cox's face, and that time he's not real happy yet. Uh-oh, Brandon's open on the wing. That's a shot. Jamie Brandon buried it. And King has the lead, 39-38, and now East St. Louis Lincoln throws it away. Brandon to the hole and a charge. That time, Jamie Brandon did something he rarely does. He made a mistake. He had 2 men open on the wing.
Exactly right. He should have dumped this ball when he came in from the left side, and I know that.
You know where that mistake stemmed from? Him burying that jumper on the wing.
Yeah, a little bit too hungry right here, but he had 2 guys wide open on the opposite side of the lane from him, and he just simply bullheaded it in there and got the charge.
Snipes is going to give Sylvester a nightmare in the backcourt. Sylvester breaks it down, tipped away from behind by Snipes. Jump ball. And let's see where the arrow's pointing. It's going to stay with the Tigers.
And by doing so, they just avoid another turnover.
Benny Lewis is having that same feeling in his stomach that he had yesterday during the 4th quarter.
Exactly.
Against Aurora East. That's called the turnover stomach. Pepto-Bismol doesn't do a thing for it. And now a timeout.
There's a timeout you don't like to use, too, in that situation. A minute and 15 to go in the 3rd quarter, and you can't get the ball inbounds.
We'll be back after this from one of your network sponsors, John Deere.
Look at Frank's yard. I don't have a yard like that. Look at that hill. I don't have a hill like that. Look at that John Deere tractor. I don't need a tractor like that. I just need a good, basic tractor. You want to see what I got?
Introducing the new STX lawn tractor, the basic John Deere, with a price that's just as basic.
Ah, the virtues of milk. Milk helps supply carbohydrates
Hey there! Whoa!
to boost your energy level. Protein for strong muscles. Vitamin B complex for steady nerves. Potassium is great for quick thinking.
Did you lose a tire? Did you lose a tire?
Milk, it does a body good.
39-38 is our score. Chicago King has grabbed the lead on a Jamie Brandon jumper from the left wing. 1 minute and 15 seconds remain here, as you can see in the 3rd quarter. The winner goes on to the championship game, the loser to the consolation. Lincoln has hit 55% on the year as compared to 50 today. King 60 on the year, only 36% today. But, Coach, they've got the lead. Sharif Ford turn around, got it. I wonder how much confidence that game-ending shot yesterday against Aurora East gives a 17-year-old.
Well, I'm sure it gave him a lot of confidence.
This is Brandon. This is good.
He's in a rhythm now. You know, he just hit from the left side. Now he came down, hit from the right side, and they're letting him catch and step into his shot.
Harris fouled in the backcourt by Snipes. I mean, you've got a guy, Marco Harris, in the lineup now, who obviously hasn't gotten a lot of playing time for East St. Louis Lincoln this year.
They're still not in the bonus situation, so it wasn't a crucial foul or a serious foul.
McKinney wants some help, but can't find it yet. Look at that defense by Schofield. Oh, tough D out front. Coming to help out was Ford, wisely so. Ford will penetrate. Get it over to Martin. And a blocking
Good foul.
And a blocking
Good foul.
Boy, Sharif can get up, can he?
Oh, he really can jump. Yeah.
He can change the scoreboard numbers from here.
Salvi was trying to get position. He did the right thing defensively, but he just didn't get there in time. Simple as that. Here you see the offensive ball player come to the basket, Conzo Martin, and Salvi's just not there in time.
Sonny Cox just yelled at the official, "You're killing me." Martin pulls up beauty. A beauty for Conzo Martin. Just give him a little space and he'll make that one move that gets himself open.
Kid can play an off guard in big-time ball, can he?
He will. 12 points for Conzo Martin. East St. Louis Lincoln with the lead. Jumper not this time. Sylvester high for the rebound. Ooh, almost a good steal at the other end by Victor Snipes, who is everywhere. And speaking of great defense, if you want to see a player who hasn't been blessed with a lot of God-given talent, but just plays it so close to the heart, then watch the Rock Island Peoria Central game and Chris Allison, because he's everywhere.
Yes, he is.
And a turnover out front. Marco Harris couldn't control it.
Turnovers are going to drive the Lincoln fans crazy here this 4th quarter, I'm afraid. They're just turning the ball over too often.
Oh, almost a turnover there, but Schofield came up with it, and does he beat the clock? No, he doesn't. Woo! It was awful close, and we are still close after 3 quarters of play. The Tigers of East St. Louis Lincoln lead Chicago King 42-41. Here's a message from one of your network sponsors, the Illinois Pork Producers.
If it's time to watch what you eat, there's a meat that's surprisingly low in calories. Pork, the other white meat.
Pass the sweetener. I said pass the sweetener, please. That is sweetener. That's not sweetener, that's corn. Miss McGuinn says it's sweetener. Miss McGuinn would not say that corn is sweetener. She did too. She said that a lot of corn farmers grow in Illinois is turned into corn sweetener. She said they use it in cereal and soft drinks and salad dressing. And she said that they use more corn sweetener than anything else. I knew that.
Illinois corn. How sweet it is.
Well, some folks around Assembly Hall think that even though it's a semifinal game, this will be the championship game. Rock Island and Peoria Central will have something to say about that way of thought. But right now, 8 minutes remain. East St. Louis Lincoln hanging on to the lead, and hanging on is the key word here, Coach, because they cannot turn it over, and they have a young guard court right now in Marco Harris and also Rico Sylvester, although Sylvester is used to the pressure, but they've got to stay away from those turnovers if they want to win, and of course King wants to create those turnovers.
You got it on target.
Sharif, Snipes, Jamie Brandon, Selvey, and Schofield in the ball game. Jump shot is not anywhere close by King. And look out now, Marco Harris. There he does the wise thing and gets it back to Rico Sylvester. He cleared it out and then waited.
Kings in their man-to-man defense, putting as much pressure on as they possibly can.
Let's see how much time East St. Louis Lincoln wants to take here. McKinney trying to find a pick from Martin, but it's not there.
Martin posting up on Selvey, Jim.
Look at Sharif, will you? Sharif made the call, but it was not the correct call, according to the official.
Martin has really watched the battle inside between Martin and Selvey. Martin's trying to post him up. And that's probably where East St. Louis should go with the basketball.
Sylvester looking for Conzo, who shakes his head no. It's not here. Better hurry, better hurry. There it is. Shot up. Good.
They continue to do that, they're going to be all right. Take care of the ball and get the ball inside then to Conzo. They're going to be okay.
14 for Mr. Martin. Uh-oh, tough call, tough call. Rico Sylvester tried to set up in front of Mr. Snipes, and the reason I say it was a tough call is watch Snipes' arm. You cannot ward off a man. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that may be the correct call. I don't know if Sylvester had the feet planted. That's why
he was set.
That's why you have officials, because that's the toughest call in the game as far as I'm concerned, the charge. Ahmad Sharif. A star on anyone else's team, according to Sonny Cox.
You bet. Great defense.
An all-stater on anyone else's team if he weren't buried by all the press that Mr. Selvey and Brandon get. 6:53 remaining. King trails by 2 and now 1.
Let's see if East St. Louis remembers what their instructions were during the quarter break, and that was to get the ball inside, I'm sure, to Conzo Martin.
McKinney double team, waits nicely for Sylvester. Over to Harris, down low to Ford, and he's fouled. They moved the ball real well that time.
Ford took it right to Selvey, and Selvey, of course, fouled him, so Ford now goes to the free throw line with a couple.
Ford, a 60% shooter on the year. Get it to the middle. They wait for Sylvester. That's the key here, and then kick it off on the wing. Boom.
A little token press in the back court, and they're probably better to when they're going just full court man and double teaming out of it.
Johnny Selvey with his third personal. Again, Ronald Willis, the center for Lincoln, out with 5. Ford gets it. I'll tell you what, if Sharif Ford beats the buzzer again today, might as well deify him.
That's right. He knows that his ball comes here because of his shot last night.
Ford, who averages 8 per game, now has 6 in the state seps. And again, they keep King down by 3.
Diamond in 1 zone press by East St. Louis Lincoln.
2-on-2 zone defense in the half court. Brandon with Sylvester all over him, and Sylvester doesn't want to pick up another foul yet. Remember that.
You know, the difference in this ball game, too, has been East St. Louis Lincoln has a better inside game than does Chicago King.
Yeah, which will surprise a lot of people. Brandon, he is money. He is money. You can defense that shot all you want, but when the man has a leap like that.
Oh, he's got a great vertical.
1-point game again. Harris out front.
Watch Martin and Selvey battling there.
He's open there. Martin, though, wisely kicks it back out. Now down low to Ford, who tried to post up, lost the handle, gets it back, and stepped out of bounds and traveled. You might be able to pick that up. That's the voice of Sonny Cox. Get up on your man. Now he calls out black as far as the offense. They have a code for one offense is black, one offense is white, and I believe the other one offense is 50.
That's right. That's right.
Brandon trying for the lead, hangs, won't get it. Sharif Ford has the rebound, and Sonny Cox wanted a foul call
there.
East St. Louis Lincoln comes down with the lead in the basketball. Still a lot of time left. 5:25. Out front, McKinney. McKinney hasn't had the kind of offensive day that he had yesterday, and now he creates the turnover.
The turnovers have to be approaching the 20 figure again.
Yeah, I really think they should have 2 descriptions of turnovers in basketball. One, a plain turnover created by the defense, and then like in
Forced
tennis,
and
the uncommitted.
Forced and unforced turnovers, right. And that one right there would probably be an unforced turnover.
Correct.
Because there's no great pressure there. And those kill you, the unforced ones.
Snipes gets it in the middle to Selvey.
It's going to be the perimeter game of Jamie Brandon, and the inside game of Conzo Martin is going to decide this ball game.
Now they'll run Brandon up top now, and they go low, and Snipes can't get it to fall, but he is fouled. He is fouled by Conzo Martin.
Okay, see Sharif posting up, going the baseline, and the foul called on Conzo.
He put that hip on Conzo and spun around him. Conzo now with 3, and King with a chance to take the lead. Ahmad Sharif. Yesterday he scored 9 of King's first 20 points as they went out on that early run. Game tie. 46-46.
Those free throws now. How big they become this time of the game.
King shooting for the lead. We'll have to see if in fact they get it, what effect it has on the Tigers, who have led most of the game. Well, we're tied. Vincent Jackson, who's been quiet lately, he's been very
he has. He's been very silent this half, Jim.
Man-to-man defense. Here's Jackson.
Ford trying to post up on Jamie.
Ooh, look at this move. Look at this shot. Not going to fall, though. Rebound Ford back up. No. Ball tip controlled. McKinney, yeah.
That's just wanting it on the offensive board. There's 3 attempts. When you get that many shots at the basket, you usually come away with points.
Even with Johnny Selvey in there, the Tigers came away with it. They get it across the timeline. Brandon, jumper, no. Rebound, Sylvester on the break. Martin, Jackson, Martin, count it.
Excellent. Nice, fast break.
Timeout, Chicago King.
Move the ball quickly up the floor, look for one another, and just cut the defender to ribbons back there, Jim.
Martin has 16. East St. Louis Lincoln has the lead. 4:04 remains. Let's pause for these messages.
Listen to the scissors. Turn it all around. Don't you love the sound of a price coming down? Broken scissors are on patrol.
Hardee's, we use 100% pure American beef because we never forget you can always go someplace else. At Hardee's, we use real dairy cheese because we never forget you can always go someplace else.
What a break the last time down the floor by
beautifully executed. King is shooting too quickly here. They're forcing their offense, but you see the ball's kicked out here by their point guard, and Vincent Jackson and Conzo Martin just execute a perfect 2-on-1 fast break.
Snipes felt like a man in the desert without a drop of water. There was nowhere to go. In the first half, of course, Lincoln shot 53%. They picked up on it in the second half, and Chicago Kings shooting even more poorly, and now a turnover in the backcourt. Well, if East St. Louis Lincoln gets a bucket here, they're going to be feeling awful good about things. And now's when you take your time and you look for Martin, if at all possible. But I'll tell you one thing, Sharif Ford is not shy about posting up and taking it to the hole.
He does. He posted there. He's going to get a chance at it right now.
A shot! Not there. Ooh, it wasn't the wisest of all shots in the world.
King has to be patient and not come up with an empty bucket here. They've got to take their time and go inside, even if it's with the penetration and drive. But they've got to get points here.
I didn't really think Ford would fire it up from there. I thought they might eat a little bit more time. Oh, Snipes with a pretty pass to Selvey, and that's in the bank.
That's what you have to do. You got to be patient and penetrate and find the big guy. You can't live outside. Even though Jamie Brandon's a great shooter, you got to be patient and come up with something in the critical stages of this game.
Contact out front. In the middle, Martin. Martin is fouled by Selvey. And I was just about to say that Selvey, that's the man they really held in check. Brandon now has 24. Brandon averages 28, but Selvey came in averaging 22, and he has but 4 points in this game. Speaking of 4, that's the personal foul count as well.
He doesn't post up as hard. He started the game out in the first quarter posting real hard. He didn't get the ball, and now he hasn't been posting very well at all.
Well, I'll say it again. If Sharif Ford gets the last-second shot and wins it, I'm running out of here immediately after the game and buying a lottery ticket because something strange is going on.
See, that's a sad thing about her, the dilemma that a coach can get in when you got a great perimeter shooter like Jamie Brandon that puts it up so freely, and you got a post player like a Selvey. If they post early and don't get the ball because the shooter's putting them up, then they quit posting.
You don't have to tell Martin that every trip to the charity stripe now is mucho important. 3 minutes remaining now in the game, at least in regulation. This half, Martin is 5 for 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Brandon for 3, that's going to be short. Rebound comes back to Brandon. He'll make this count. That was fortunate for Chicago King because what happened was the Tigers simply lost the rebound. They were so aggressive that they couldn't come up with it as more than one mate scrambled for it. Vincent Jackson, who's been real quiet, goes inside to McKinney. Post up, turns, no. Rebound forward, back up, good.
Big bucket. Selvey didn't do a very good job of screening Ford off the offensive board, and that's costly, and there's a turnover.
Another one, and now East St. Louis Lincoln will sit on it for a while. And land it. Oh, now it's taken away again. Snipes up ahead to Brandon. Look out. I thought he was going to jam it, but he opted for the sure thing.
4 in a row, fellas. We've had 4 barn burners in a row here.
And now we're down to the 2-minute mark as Brandon sets at 28 points for the game. Sylvester left open, but only for a while. Now in low to Martin, puts it up and hits it. A tough half hook.
They're going to their money ball player here. When the game's on the line, they're going to go to Mr. Money, Mr. Clutch.
Well, he's 6 for 6 here in the second half. He's sitting at 20 points, and the lead is back to 4 for the Tigers. 1:35 remaining. Brandon's going to force everybody's hand. That shot won't count. He'll go to the free throw line.
Tell you what, Conzo Martin is playing with a lot of emotion, too, a lot of determination. You can see it on his face.
I wouldn't be surprised if you got a call from LaFonso Ellis sometime this week and said, well, come on, we have 2. We can do 3, can't we? That's the Notre Dame way.
You know, I was thinking a little bit ago, whichever one of these teams survives or prevails, they're going to play with a lot of emotion tonight. If it's East St. Louis, they're going for an unprecedented 3rd championship in a row. If it's Chicago King, they're going for not only the title of the state, but on the heels of the city title. And they're second in, what, 4 years?
Correct.
So a lot of emotion. Of course, if it's Chuck Fisher's Peoria Central Ball Club, state rated #1 and undefeated. Wow.
That hasn't happened in AA ball since 1981, a perfect season. That was Jerry Leggett. And this is only 1 of 2 for Jamie Brandon. Boy, tough miss. The difference is 3. Well, if you weren't awake when you joined us, I think you're awake now. At least I am. Vincent Jackson.
East St. Louis is in a freeze. All-out freeze, I believe.
Jackson almost lost the handle. Now, here's a wise pass to get out of trouble all the way across the way to McKinney. Let's see. They may be forced to foul here, Coach.
Yeah, they may.
I don't think East St. Louis Lincoln is going to take a shot here unless they have
the
to.
basket.
Oh, boy, that's a dangerous pass. You don't want to pass it that close.
You don't want to bring trouble to your defender. They got somebody wide open underneath the basket.
There's the foul by Schofield.
You know, that's what's critical. You've got to look inside. You have to attack the basket if they're going to pull the goalie, as they say. You've got to go back there, back door.
We've got a timeout. You see Schofield give the signal. East St. Louis Lincoln is coming back with a mighty big trip to the line. Now this from one of your network sponsors, Country Companies.
The day Tom bought his new car, he knew it would start declining in value, month after month. So he added the keeper coverage to his Country Company's auto insurance. 2 years later, the car was totaled, unrepairable. But instead of giving him only the used car value, Country Companies bought him a brand new one. Same make and model, even though it cost more than the original. The keeper for just a few dollars more.
You've got the Country Company.
The John Deere Promise. Buy this new 1989 walk-by and test drive it for a full month. If you don't agree it's the best mower you ever used, you can bring it back for a full refund?
And here's where you can get it.
John Deere and Fligingers, 2 names that stand for quality. Call Fligingers today.
In the Bloomington area, your John Deere dealer is Tractor Mart and Equipment Company. Call today. The John Deere Promise. You like our new walk-behind or get a full refund.
Talk about your pressure and talk about your double and triple teaming. Somebody's got to be open.
Well, yeah, and you know, you get in a habit, or you get in a fall into a bad pattern here, playing sideline to sideline. You got Ford wide open underneath the basket here, and the guards are playing cross court instead of looking at the basket and attacking.
Vincent Jackson looked up and saw him for just a brief second, and I think he changed his mind. And that'll happen when you're playing against King because, hey, you've made cross-court passes earlier in the day, and suddenly they were picked off. But, again, it's easier from here than it is out there.
But the thing you got to practice and can be concerned about is when you're in a delay situation, you're delaying, but yet you're penetrating and going towards the basket.
Jackson only 53% on the year. He didn't get it. He didn't get it. King has the rebound. Jamie Brandon will come down, and you see the time on the right side of your screen. Brandon all the way to the hole. Nobody's going to stop him. 56-55.
East St. Louis may have been just a little bit too conservative not to foul.
Snipes will try to get it away from Sylvester. Uh-oh, Sylvester's in trouble. And he's fouled from behind by Brandon, who cannot think it's reality.
It's not a real bad foul. I know he didn't want that situation, but he's going to go to the free throw line. He makes both of them. There's still one three-pointer away from a tie.
Sonny Cox wants to freeze Mr. Sylvester. We've got a timeout on the floor. Let's pause. Whew, what a game for these messages.
Some lawn tractors can make the smoothest lawn feel like a minefield.
Not John Deere. Our tractors are designed for smooth and quiet operation at a very comfortable price. Right now, save up to $300 on our complete line of lawn and garden tractors. And here's where you can get them.
We've got the mowers and we've got the service. Drive out or call Street Matters today.
John Deere and Fligingers, 2 names that stand for quality. Call Fligingers today.
Nothing runs like a Deere.
Listen to the scissors cutting all around. Don't you love the sound of a price coming down? Kroger savings can't be beat. Week after week after week, listen to the scissors. Don't you love the sound?
You mentioned, Coach, last time down that East St. Louis Lincoln might have been a little bit tentative on defense.
Well, I think you had a tendency to say your kids during a timeout, don't foul anybody if we got the lead, and yet you got to cut off the driver, and you got to make people shoot from outside. You got to play that good defense.
That was a nice pick there by Selvey.
Yes, it was.
Sylvester, 80% on the year, but none bigger. He's a senior. He's been there before, and he got it. That puts it up to 2.
Of course, this is a big one because it puts the pressure on King's shoulders to get the 3, if not a field goal counting 2 and a quick steal.
Sylvester has 9. He now has 10. East St. Louis Lincoln has a 3-point lead, but remember, King has Jamie Brandon. A 3-pointer to him, nothing. Sharif. Snipes will just take it all the way down, give it up to Selvey, who got the bucket, and King wants another timeout. King wants another timeout. Did they get it? Whoa. The official said yes, they got it, although the Tigers had already inbounded. Benny Lewis says, hey, the ball was inbounded. You can't call timeout.
Well, he got the timeout regardless.
And we will keep it right here on the Assembly Hall floor. Benny Lewis not happy at all.
Here's King breaking East St. Louis's diamond in 1 press. And, of course, Vincent Jackson is now following Jamie Brandon a little bit more closely one-on-one. There may have been a little, no, I thought maybe there was a little travel there by Selvey, but there wasn't.
And again, good hands by Selvey. He was turning around, caught it with the left hand. Now, why Benny Lewis is upset is very simple. He doesn't want King's defense to set up on the out-of-bounds play.
And of course, King's going to set up and put the, I would think they'd come, their 50 is their half-court man-to-man, so I assume if he's telling him to come out 100%, he's going to get him 100% man-to-man everywhere.
Let's take a look at that timeout situation again.
Okay,
the basket will be made by Selvey. He's calling timeout
early.
Yeah, so basically it was just not a quick timeout call by the official.
The kid requested it quickly.
He sure did. Here we go. Frank Bassoni says the official didn't have the whistle in his mouth, and that's why the whistle wasn't blown at that time. Well, here we go. East St. Louis Lincoln needs to get it inbounds. Martin will call timeout. He'll call timeout wisely, and that's exactly what Benny Lewis told him to do. If you can't get it in, take another tee. So that gives us time to remind you that coming up next, Chuck Bisher's undefeated Peoria Central team will go up against Duncan Reed's Nasty Rocks. They played defense like it was meant to be played. Whether they can shut down Central, we don't know, because they have played Central once this year. That was in Peoria. They lost by 19. The Rocks' biggest loss of the year. Tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll be back, of course, with the consolation game, when we kick that off with, before the tip-off at 6 o'clock, some highlights of some of the outstanding players here in the tournament and some outstanding juniors when you talk about that. And let's thank our network sponsors again, because without them, we couldn't bring this to you. The Country Companies, the Illinois Pork Producers, and John Deere. They, of course, are proud to be a part of this telecast. They hope you're enjoying the action. And if you're not, go see your optometrist.
If you're not a basketball fan.
That's
Simple
right.
as that. This is high school basketball at its very best.
Well, you can see why Mr. Lewis was a little bit upset with the timeout call, but we talked about why it wasn't made exactly when it was called, but King did call it exactly when they had to. Let's go. Martin gets it out just in time. McKinney in the backcourt. McKinney is fouled by Snipes. Tough call.
McKinney, good shooter here. I would think that Benny Lewis would like to see this young man on the free throw line. He's a veteran ball player, one of the better shooters.
Victor Snipes picks up his 4th personal foul. At this point, that doesn't really matter. East St. Louis Lincoln leading that man's team by 1 point, 58-57. We'll let the picture tell you how it goes. How do you feel, Mr. McKinney? This one's just as important. Remember,
just as important, but a little less pressure.
3-pointers are the current rage, especially when you have to come back late.
18 seconds left in this one, Jim.
Got them both. Here comes Chicago King. If they want to win the state championship, they have to convert this time down, and it better be a 3. Snipes in a hurry. Snipes trying to get it to Brandon. 8 seconds. Brandon needs the 3. Here it is. No. Tip controlled. Underneath the Schofield. He's fouled. No bucket. No bucket. A foul with 3 seconds left. Schofield will go to the line, and this leads to all kinds of possibilities. Make the first one, miss the second.
You do have all kinds of possibilities, but that's the first one that you got to think of if you're East St. Louis Lincoln. You got to think, well, if they make the first one, they may intentionally miss the second one here.
They went to the money man. Jamie Brandon. He missed it. Schofield was back up, and I don't know, you know, in that kind of situation, Coach, your coach is saying kick it back outside for the other 3, but that's easier
the
said than done.
old-fashioned 3 too. You're right there. You got to get a point.
Schofield needs the first one. He's got to have that. He didn't get it. He didn't get it. This game's over. This game is over. East St. Louis Lincoln has done it. They have defeated Chicago King. There are several reasons why Landon Sonny Cox will not try for his second state championship in 4 years. Coach, you got to start with Conzo Martin.
Well, Conzo Martin down the stretch of the ball game. When the ball game was in the balance, Jim, East St. Louis Lincoln went to their money man. They posted Conzo Martin low. He caught the ball low, and he delivered for him with a couple of key baskets, and also went to the free throw line to make some free throws. East St. Louis plagued with its turnovers. Still in all, Chicago King plagued with the free throw line. And again, I think the big difference in this ball game was that East St. Louis had an inside offensive attack, whereas Chicago King did not have that good inside offensive attack.
Also, some very important trips to the free throw line. Rico Sylvester had 2 free throws. He buried them both. Then, of course, with under 20 seconds remaining, Christopher McKinney had the 1-and-1. He buried them both.
Chris McKinney had the big free throws in this ball game, and as I said when he was fouled, you know, that's the kind of kid that if you're his coach, you want to see him go to the free throw line. He's a shooter, he's a confident offensive ball player, and he went there and stroked both of them home, and that they were the big points. But you know, you made a comment during the ball game that you never did sense an urgency in King's facial expressions out there and their attitude, like they were going to win all along somewhere with an outside three-pointer, and I felt that even right down to the last three-pointer that they attempted.
I thought Brandon's shot would probably go if all went according to the way King has played all year. Of course, they got that great shot in the Chicago Public League playoffs by Mr. Brandon that actually carried them into that game against Simeon, which they won by 10. And again, to quote Mr. Sonny Cox, the city championship is the game. Well, he may have won the game, but the game tonight will not feature Chicago King.
East St. Louis Lincoln is in. Can you imagine the emotions that those young people are going to play with when you consider they're going for that unprecedented 3rd consecutive Class 2A title?
And of course, if Peoria Central should beat Rock Island, and the emphasis is on the if, they will be favored coming out here. I think we have to be honest about that. But when you have, what, 3 teams left for a state championship, how do you favor anybody?
That's right.
That's the question.
You're going to have a classic confrontation.
If they should pull it off. Of course, if the Rocks pull it off, then you've got another formula shaping up here at the Assembly Hall. What a ball game.
4 incredible ball games, Jim. 4 of them in a row.
Right in a row. Yesterday, of course, King knocked off Thornridge 63-46. That was the only widespread ball game. But then East St. Louis Lincoln defeated Aurora East as Sharif Ford beat the buzzer. I'll never forget that as long as I may live. 72-70. Then Chicago Heights Bloom and Brandon Cole almost knocked off Peoria Central. 62-61 though. Central came back and did what they had to do to keep that undefeated season rolling at 31-0. And Rocky knocked off Winnetka-New Trier 52-47 in another tight ball game that went back and forth. And now here, our first game of the semifinals boils down to the last seconds, and King falls to East St. Louis Lincoln by a count of 60-57. Man. In just a few seconds, we are going to hear the band that is entertaining here during the semifinals and the finals here at Assembly Hall. They are from Barrington High School, and if Bill Geist is out there anyway, our former analyst, we want to say hello to him, the former coach at Barrington. Now let's go to the band.
The leading scorer was Jamie Brandon with 31 points. Here are the totals for East St. Louis Lincoln. Sharif Ford with 6. Rico Sylvester with 10. Vincent Jackson had 9. Chris McKinney with 13 points. And the leading scorer was Conzo Martin with 22 points. East St. Louis Lincoln will take a record of 20.
The Barrington High School pep band. They're still talking about this last game. Let's take a look at the statistics for East St. Louis Lincoln and for Chicago King. Field goal wise, King came up at the end, but it wasn't going to be enough, Coach. Only 40% from the field, but St. Louis Lincoln with 54%. Free throws, Lincoln 14 and 19. Good percentage. King hitting just over 50%. That killed him. King out-rebounded 34-27. That may be the most telling stat of all in that one.
Inside game, East St. Louis Lincoln.
Okay, let's go courtside to my colleague, Art Kimball.
Thank you, Jim. And here's a young fellow with me that's made a few TV appearances over the years. Thomas Howard, the principal of Palatine Friend High School, but also the president of the board of directors of the Illinois High School Association. Tom, good to see you.
Thank you, Art. It's nice to be here. It's 4 good games out of 5, and I think high school basketball, in my opinion, is the greatest sport of the world, and we're sure having a nice tournament this weekend.
I was going to say, are you responsible for booking this act? If so, you've done a pretty good job.
Well, we try to keep them close where we can get the spectators to come back.
What are some of the things that typify the duties of the board of directors? We hear the board of directors passes on this motion, approves this, rejects that. It covers a multitude of things, doesn't it?
Well, our position is, our job is that we're like a school board or a board of directors in a corporation. We're elected from 7 different divisions, and then we hire the executive staff, and we're responsible for the making of policy and then letting the staff to go ahead and do the day in and day operation. And of course, then we also have the budget we need to be concerned about and things along that line. And then, of course, occasionally we get called upon for interpretation of violations of the bylaws by schools and athletes.
It's almost like kind of running a mini government at times, isn't it?
It is. It sure is. That's what it boils down to. We're, could say, a government agency within the state of Illinois in charge of high school athletics and activities. You know, we sponsor the Scholastic Bowl and speech, and we even have a chess tournament. So I think a lot of times all people think about is some of the sports we have, but we have many other activities also.
Got to congratulate you and your ball club at Palatine Friend. You made it to the Super Sectional, what, 2nd year in a row up there?
Yeah, we've been there 2 years in a row, actually 3 out of 4, but We just can't win the big one to get down here. But the old saying is, I learned a long time ago, it's better to get there and lose than not get there at all. So we have a lot of fun, and we're out at DeKalb again, and full house, and it was a great experience. Even though the young people lost, they're not going to forget it. My son was there last year, and he still talks about it.
Tom, thank you so much for the visit. Great tournament. Thanks for having it for us.
Well, thank you for having me over, Art, and good luck the rest of the tournament.
Thank you. Thomas Howard, the president of the Illinois High School Association Board of Directors and principal of Palatine Friend. Here's an old friend, Lauren Wallace, the head basketball coach at Bloomington. And many of you folks may remember Lauren with his great run at Lincoln High School before taking the Bloomington job. Lauren, we're seeing a whale of a tournament, aren't we?
Well, I think so. That game that just finished there is going to make for a final game, too. I think you'll have a big crowd for it now.
Well, it was a contest. You go right to the wire. Jillion coaching decisions the last 40, 50 seconds, weren't there?
A lot of second guessing going on, I'm sure. You got a 6'10" player sitting there on the bench like that the whole second half. You know, I'd sure like to have him on my bench.
Indeed, and of course, the whole tournament's, it's been something of a coach's tournament. Move, counter move. I think that's what great state tournaments are made of.
Well, the games have all come down to that, to the end with coaches having to make some decisions, a lot of timeouts. Some great players in the tournament this year.
Well, there really are a lot of great juniors.
Right. As you look out over the state, next year should be a great year for Illinois basketball.
I understand at Bloomington High School, just up the road about 40-some miles, you got a little talent coming back.
Well, we played 2 sophomores and 3 juniors in our rotation this year, so we got a lot of kids coming back. We should be pretty decent.
Well, Lauren, always good to have you. Thank you for dropping in and seeing us. Best wishes to you, and enjoy the rest of the tournament. I think we have, 3 more good ones to go.
Well, we got 3 more plus the Illini this afternoon.
That's right.
Thank you.
Lauren Wallace, the head basketball coach at Bloomington High School, our guest, and let's take a break and hear from your network sponsors of today's telecast.
This telecast has been brought to you by the Illinois Pork Producers Association. The 10,000 pork producers in Illinois encourage you to try the new lean, nutritious pork, the other white meat. The country companies and their more than 900 agents throughout Illinois. You've got the country behind you. And John Deere and your local John Deere dealer.